Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, September 9th. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and SPY. So things today basically went according to plan, like we said prior to the opening. What this market was attempting to do, I think they did a good job. They definitely got tired. I mean, the biggest run of the day obviously was in the first three time frames, but they did, for all intents and purposes, hold their own all afternoon. We never, we were 7 out of 8 wide, which is a little unusual. And I thought we might try to get a triple distribution day. And I'm like, with a park that wide, it might be hard. Somebody pointed that out in the room, which is an excellent point. We did try to go triple distribution a couple of times, only to fail. But what's even more interesting than that is, since we couldn't get it, you would think we would have gotten a wider park, and we never even got down, right? We just stayed 7 wide, so the buyers were pretty strong. We go out a bit of a price probe. We go out with a double distribution day. It's a very small set of singles, but we have them. We have an outside week up, and the daily is now up, with the gap being our main focus. So very good job by the bulls this week, up about $14 on the week or so, I believe, in SPY. I'll roll over to December's contract on Monday in the ES. I did trade September today. As far as the other ones go, we're going to recap all the charts today. Now, they clearly look like P-shapes for short covering. No doubt about it. However, you can't ignore that there is a trend day. Qs go out with a price probe, only 8 wide, and a double distribution day. Russell never had any single prints that they held. Nice afternoon pullback in F. They end 8 wide and a P shape. I had a good day. My trading was all done early in the day because the market was basically very, very readable through A, B, and C. So all I did was long A, B, and C. Actually just missed buying the low of the day. Missed it by 2 points. I was like, when the turnover came at 9:45 and they pushed below the opening, I want to see what they got. And once they didn't get much, started going back up. I bought 5. I was long 2 already above the opening. I bought 5 more mini at 28 or 28 and a quarter. And no, I didn't hold them all day. I held them though. I did pretty well on it until we got back above the opening. That was the best trade of the day. But I longed A 3 times. I longed B twice. I longed C period once. Then the only other trades I took was in F. Now, you remember the debacle yesterday. What happened today was what I was expecting yesterday. Pull back, either fill the singles or hold the singles and go back up. That's what I was expecting yesterday, not this tremendous liquidation break, $4 in 7 minutes. So I longed F twice. And that was it, because when G got back down, I was tempted to long it again, but I didn't. And then when we made the new highs, we really it was so monotonous up here, just a slow grind. And the fact that J stopped the one-time framing kind of put a thing. I didn't know if we were going to go back and get a wider park because we couldn't get another set of single prints up here. If we never stopped the one-time framing, I would have said, okay, you could have longed each time frame low. But that's fine. Again, it was a good day after yesterday, and I'll take it. As far as our destinations, on the upside in SPY, today's high is now a weekly high, 407.51. Then we have, now you should have these written down somewhere. I'll give them to you, but this is why I ask you to write them down so we don't have to go back to them, even though, it's 2 weeks later. You had single prints from August 26th, 407.76 to 408.04, 408.49 to 408.90, and then 409.34 to 409.36, and 410.69 afternoon rally high. For the downside, we have today's single prints, very small, 404.33 to 30, and then we have today's low of 402.46, and filling the gap at 400.86, a 160-point gap, or $1.60 gap. In the ES, today's high is 77.25. Then again, all the singles from August 26th, 78.25 to 79, 85.25 to 86, 92.75 to 94.50, and 99.25. For the downside in ES, we have today's single prints, one tick, 45 to 44.75. Then we have today's low of 26.25 and filling the gap at 10.75. Now, let's break down these charts because things are changing in favor of the bulls. So, we're going to start with the little guy, the Russell. So the Russell, obviously, again, the monthlies have not changed, right? These are big balances. So the monthly is still firmly in balance. But the weekly, for Russell, did not change just yet. It's still down. They did not take out last week's high. Okay? Now, you want to call it down to balance because it got back so much? Be my guest. But to me, personally, I like to see a weekly high taken out before I go back to balance. So for me, the weekly is still down in the Russell. We came close to taking out last week's high. We missed it by, we actually missed it by $2. So the monthly is balanced, the weekly is down. The daily is up. Came out of a 4-day balance, 5-day balance, on a gap, held it above the 50, below the 20. Triple Qs. Monthly, balance. That's not going to change. Very difficult to change right now. It's a very large balance. Weekly, back to balance. They took out last week's high, almost had an outside week up, but they closed right below last week's high by 15 cents, but it's a 2-week balance. Also, they filled that small gap that they still had. I didn't even realize they had that gap still. They filled it. Do they have the other one from the other week? Yes, they do. They're not as big as we are, but I didn't realize they still had a gap here. So it is firmly a 2-week balance, but not an outside week up. If we take out this week's high on next week, the weekly goes from balance to up. So right now, monthly balanced, weekly balanced, daily. Now, they're a little different than us. Why is it showing no gap today? Give me 1 second here. They're showing today's lows. That can't be right. Let me just go. I'm going to Window Trader as I'm looking. No, that's wrong. The low in triple Qs today is 302 and change. That is not correct on the chart. They did not fill today's gap. The low is 302 and change. There must have been a bad print. Now, I was calling this balance a 4-day balance. I know they haven't taken out these 2 days highs, but I'm going to call it up. We came out of balance, a 4-day balance to the upside on a gap, and they're still holding it. Where is their 50-day moving average? I don't know what happened to this chart. I'll fix it after the video. I had it on here earlier. I don't know what happened to it. But I will add it after this because I'm not sure where it is right now. So the monthly in triple Qs is balanced. The weekly is balanced. The daily is up with the gap being my main focus. I will correct that after the video. And then let's go to SPY and ES. Balance on the monthly. Weekly, balance, but it's an outside week up as we took out last week's high and closed above it. That's bullish. Closed right on that trend line. So the weekly is really at a go, no-go area here, isn't it? Right? Very nice that we had an outside week up, but it's still only balance. How do we come out of balance? Let's take out today's high and get some distance above last week's high, this week's high, and above this trend line. So that on the weekly is the go, no-go line. Balance. Daily got above their go, no-go line. I don't know what happened to my 50-day moving average. It's off all my charts. All right, I'll fix it after this. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, we're above the 50-day moving average. We're below the 20, but we're closer to the 20 than the 50. But without a doubt we are. So we are up in the daily. Gap is my main focus. Now, I said last night in my consultation, I told you guys and gals on the video this morning, if one day doesn't make a market, right? We've always said that. But if bulls are able to stay above this balance and hold the gap and stay above the 50 and the 4,000 level and the 400 level, I firmly believe we have a chance over the next 6 to 8 days of grinding higher. This day is not going to be easy to take back from August 26th. We took back one set of single prints today in SPY. ES didn't even get in it. So it's not going to be that easy to get back, to take it all back. But in baby steps, we can get to 20 and then eventually test this high around the 420 level. Thanks for the likes and subscribing to this channel. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org, and we'll speak prior to the opening.